guys, it's Jessie V. So today I thought we'd do a bit of a creepy video because I know I haven't been doing those as often. I'm not trying to stray away from them per se, but I think that I could also be giving you guys a lot of other content like story times and interesting things, you know, as well as the creepy stuff, because I feel like for a while I was just focusing on scary, so I do want to sort of vary things up every once in a while, just so there's something for everybody. So today I thought I would talk about some things that kids have said to their babysitters, and all of these things are completely true. There's tons of websites online where babysitters have been posting, just saying like the creepiest and scariest experiences that they've had with kids. And I know I've done tons and tons of babysitting story times on my channel, whether it's my personal stories or just creepy stuff that I found online, but I do think that these things are really interesting. I haven't read them all, so a lot of this will be my like genuine first reaction to this stuff, but I can also kind of relate to this stuff because I have had some pretty weird babysitting stories that you guys have heard before, but it was mostly that the kids were like crazy and out of control, not necessarily like eerie, you know? So let's just go through these and see what people have to say. So it says, I was babysitting a kid and we were watching TV in his basement. All of a sudden, he shuts off the TV and whips his head to stare at the wall behind him. He stared for a solid 3 minutes and said, "Not now," and continued watching TV. A few minutes later, he looked at the wall again and said, "I'll see you later, okay?" I was so freaked out. Imagine babysitting some kid and you're watching like Thomas the Train, everything's good, and the kid beside you like turns to a wall with nothing there and is like, "We can't talk right now, okay? The babies are sitting there. We can talk later though when she leaves." Like imagine just hearing that. Oh my gosh. I mean, my first thought would probably be that the kid was like schizophrenic or had some sort of issue in that way, but like ghosts are real, okay? Ghosts are real and children and pets can see them a lot better than humans can. Because kids aren't humans. I mean adults, like older people. Alright, 2 years ago, I was looking through my school yearbook with my 5-year-old cousin. When we came to the page with my year 2 class on it, she pointed to a boy's photo and said, "That looks just like Nicholas." When I asked who Nicholas was, she said, "He's the boy in my closet," and continued to look through the pictures. I almost died. What? So I guess this kid has either an imaginary friend or a ghost, like I said before, who looks just like this guy from the yearbook. That is so creepy. I've heard tons of stories like that before though, where kids are shown a picture and they point to a person in the picture and they're like, "Oh, like I know that person, like I talked to that person," and they'll be like dead, you know? Like it's really weird. My little nephew that I used to babysit would talk about a woman who would visit his room at night. He said she wore a red dress and that her name was Franny and that she would sing to him and that she floats. That is so creepy. Kids have this thing about saying that who they're talking to floats. Like if you watch that video I did with Ty and I, he was talking about the imaginary friend that he had as a kid, and whenever he'd draw his imaginary friend, he'd be floating above the grass or the ground or whatever, which is so freaky. I know Ty's mom, when she watched that video we posted, she said she'd actually look for the photo that Ty drew of this imaginary friend, so if she can find that and I could show you guys, that will be insane. A few years ago, I was putting my friend's daughter to bed at night. She was about 3 at the time, and she was at that stage where she'd regularly fight going to sleep. She asked me why she had to go to bed, and I said, "Because it's late and it's time for little girls to get a good night's rest." She then pointed at nothing across the room and said, "But what about that little girl?" Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine what that would be like. So if you watch that like babysitting story time that I posted about 2 years ago, I had to babysit these kids who were so rambunctious, so hyper, and they did not want to go to bed. So I totally feel for this girl because kids are really difficult to put to bed. But if they told me like, "What about that little girl over there? Why can't she go to bed?" I'd be like, "Okay, I'm out." Next one. Little kids know some weird stuff. My niece is 4 and talks about her older sister constantly. She was always talking to her too. She is an only child and has no idea that her mother had a miscarriage a few years ago. That is crazy. But I also hear a lot of stories like this, especially like with twins. If one of them unfortunately doesn't make it during childbirth, they're able to see their other twins still and talk to them. Like a lot of creepy stuff, but it's also really sad stuff. I lost my boyfriend a few months back, and when I went to visit his little cousin to babysit him a few days after it happened, he came up to me while I was crying. He asked me why I was crying, and so I told him that I missed my boyfriend. He had this confused look on his face and said, "Why? He's sitting on the doorstep." This is like, if I heard this from somebody, I would be afraid, but also I feel like I'd have this like comforting feeling, as weird as that is, because it's like his spirit was coming to say goodbye or something like that. I don't know. There's always this like scary but sweet sort of feeling when a relative that has passed like comes to visit. Like, it's a weird thing. Like, I'd be scared obviously, but you get this other feeling as well. I used to babysit this girl called Sarah, who used to love it when I came around. Her mom used to tell me how she always requested me over the others. One evening, Sarah took things a step further by saying, "When you die, I want to put you in a glass jar so I can keep you and see you forever." What? I mean, I get some kids love their babysitters and they feel completely attached to their babysitters, but like that's definitely a step too far. I was watching my neighbor's 3-year-old daughter and she looked up to me and asked, "When's the baby gonna come out of your tummy?" 2 days later, I found out that I was pregnant. Okay, that is some psychic little kid. Like, imagine that happening. I feel like if a kid told me I was pregnant before I knew, I'd like always want to hang out with them and ask them questions about my life, like, "So what do you see in my future for next week, little girl?" One night, I was babysitting my friend's children. The youngest, age 5, drew a picture of a woman hanging from the ceiling, and she looked up at me and said, "She told me to draw this. She's coming for you. You better hide." What? I mean, if you guys remember that babysitting story that I did on this channel, the little girl I was looking after did draw like a weird picture of me. I can't remember exactly what it was. I think she was like hitting me over the head with a frying pan or something like that, something weird like that. But it was like a picture that she drew of her injuring me. So that was a great start to babysitting them. I was like, okay, be nice to me, please. I was cuddling my friend's 3-year-old son and he said very seriously, "I promise I won't ever chew on your bones. I promise." That is very weird. I don't know if maybe he sees his dog chewing on bones and he's like, "I would never do that." I mean, the thing is, kids say really weird things and they don't realize how creepy it is. Like, they say it so normally without knowing like what impact it has on people. A few years ago, I was babysitting a friend's daughter. They lived in an apartment with a big patio window. She walked up to the glass door leading out to the patio and stared, motionless, into the night for several minutes. Shortly after, she ran into my arms saying, "Scary, too scary." She wouldn't let me put her down and demanded that I hold her and rock her for the next half an hour. Eventually, she started repeating over and over, "The dark coming inside now, the dark coming inside now." That is so weird. So this girl is saying the darkness from outside in the night is gonna creep up into her apartment. That is so weird. And I'm still like, I'm still so afraid of the dark, guys. Like, I'm still a little kid at heart. I do not like being in the darkness. And plus, I can't see very well in the dark, so it's not fun. My eyes, since I've had Lyme disease, they don't adjust to the dark anymore like they used to. Like, you know, like when you're in a dark room, after like 5 minutes, you can at least see little shadows and stuff. My eyes like just never adjust. I have no night vision whatsoever, so it's not fun. A toddler I was watching woke up in the middle of the night screaming about something under his bed. I checked and told him, "Go back to sleep, there's nothing under there." His reply was, "But he's behind you right now." Oh my goodness. I was actually never one of those kids who told my parents to like check under my bed or in my closet. Like, I was always freaked out about them, but I never got my parents to check them at night because they'd just be like, "Girl, there's nothing in there, okay?" I was babysitting overnight, which is something I'd probably never do. I can really only sleep in my own bed. If I'm in a stranger's house looking after kids and I'm expected to sleep, like, I don't think I ever would. I was babysitting overnight. Both kids sleepwalk and talk in their sleep, so that's extra terrifying. The oldest was crying in his sleep and he got up and locked himself in the bathroom. It took a while to get him out. Yeah, that's creepy. Like, I know Ty says that he sleepwalks. I have never seen him do it, thankfully. I mean, one day he did get up out of bed and like walk into the hallway and he says he has no memory of it. That was weird. But apparently, like when he lived with his parents still, sometimes he'd wake up, well not wake up, he'd sleepwalk to his parents' bedroom and like stand in the corner and watch them sleep, okay? Just like Edward. And I never got that about Twilight. Like, why is a vampire watching you sleep like sexy? Like, I don't understand that. And I guess this person had like a different story about this child sleepwalking. It said, "I was sleeping on the couch and in the middle of the night I woke up feeling like someone was watching me. He was standing next to the couch, so I said, 'What are you doing?' And his response was, 'The man watches you when you sleep.' And then he walked back to bed." I didn't go back to sleep. Neither would I. Yeah, I definitely could not babysit kids who sleepwalk. That's so scary. Anyways though, guys, those are all of the creepy stories that I'm going to read today. Definitely comment down below below what types of creepy or paranormal content you guys want me to make, and I will do a couple a week. But like I said before, I want to sort of mix it up with other types of videos as well. I don't want to focus, you know, mainly on one thing because I feel like that kind of limits me, you know what I mean? But I'll always be interested in creepy and paranormal stuff no matter what. But anyways, I do hope that you guys have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!